Well, I guess it is 114 now. If not, we'll just change the name of the video. I don't know. Oh, hi audience. Didn't see you there. Wink.
Wink, smiley face.
What is up
Winky
with
face,
this?
smiley face.
Yeah, what is up with this smiley face with like a bunch of smiles? Who smiles like that?
Wait, what do you mean?
You know when people go like, they make a smiley face and then they make like a fuckload of mouths?
I mean, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know.
what's up with that?
I get it. It's just over exaggeration of stuff, like over expression.
No,
You know what
I
I mean?
want an accurate representation of a human face in my smiley faces. God damn it.
Oh my. You want anatomically correct smiley faces?
Yes.
At that point, why don't the person you're talking to just send a picture of their own face? And
That
then they
could
just start
work.
to get lower and lower until it turns into a dick pic, and then it gets awkward, and you have to stop talking to each other for a year.
Yeah, how about no?
I'm certainly not speaking from experience.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. I mean, I think Jam is almost ready to talk to you, outside of the podcast.
Yeah, it's been rough.
Yeah, don't send dick pics to people.
Anyway, now that the most anatomically correct Easter egg opening thingy is over.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Shifty Keys podcast. I am Luís, aka SpartanSloth, and today we have...
Minister of Public Works, aka TJ103.
Sure, buddy, whatever you say. We are expecting more people though, but right now you get just the two of us again, less than a month.
Yeah, I feel like people just don't want to be on the same podcast as me anymore.
Yeah. Bye, TJ.
I mean, every time I take a break, I come back and it's just me and Luís. I'm glad you're a real friend, Luís. You're my friend, right?
Hold on, let me see. Oh yeah, I got the check deposit. I mean, yes, TJ.
Yes.
We are
Yes.
friends.
Yep, we're friends. Friendly friends.
What the fuck was that in the background?
That was a soda can being opened.
Oh.
And I need caffeine to get through this.
Alright. Speaking of caffeine to get through things, you went to a Moto UN conference last week, and somehow I was involved. In a way. Care to tell the story?
Yes. So, as some of our listeners may be aware, I am in my college's Model UN team. And in College Model United Nations, we do this type of committee called Crisis, where almost anything can happen. And I mean anything. Like, literally anything. So, I was in a crisis for 1973 Chile, which was a coup d'etat by the military of the democratically elected government. And it was led by some guy, don't remember his first name, Pinochet. And we ousted Allende, the Marxist communist pig. I don't necessarily mean that. It's just there was a lot of anti-Marxist talk that weekend. But anyway, when you're writing to Crisis, you write in what you want to do and they respond, and it's usually more interesting for you and for the people reading it if you make up stories, make it interesting, and you make up someone to write to. So, I was thinking around, and I was trying to think of like a South American fiery Latin name to be my personal advisor to talk to. And I'm like, well, let's see. All I know is I know there's a Marco, and then I'm like, oh, got it. I know a fiery Latin dude, Luís.
Oh, thank you.
And that's how Luís became my personal advisor and helps me in all the dirty stuff I did that weekend. Dirty and corrupt stuff, because I was a corrupt person.
You see, I was multitasking. I was recording the podcast and doing that.
You were. So, it's going to be one of those podcasts where I say a lot of stuff, which means you guys should probably leave now, because I'm not that interesting.
Wait, you're not done with the story. You skipped out the best part.
I know, but I want to build up to it.
Oh, all right. Sorry, go on.
So my position in this committee was the Minister of Public Works. And I know that's not like the top of people's lists when they think dashing military coup. But I gotta say, I worked the public hard with public projects, which, by the way, trying to do anything with government money to help the people is really hard when everyone thinks you're a Marxist communist pig. So it's really hard. But I managed to build highways, a hydroelectric dam. I established a volunteer program where all of the out of work people worked for free for 2 years and then got paid education. So looking on that from the outside perspective, that was a really shitty system because you're literally working hard labor for 2 years without getting paid. But anyway, and then the biggest thing I did was I actually took pictures of these notes and sent them to the Shifty Key podcast group. And 2 of the people in the group may have been drunk at the time when I sent them, so they didn't know what was going on. But long story short, I made an army of dick-eating goats. Yeah, just let that
kind
sink
of
in.
army.
And I won't take complete credit for the originality because that's actually our Model UN team's thing. It's like what we try to do at every conference. But everybody else in the committee room, when they found out what I did, they thought I was fucked in the head. Like they were seriously confused. And in fact, the best response I got from that was before everyone found out about it, one person who was the head of the military police, they kidnapped my son. I didn't know about it, but they kidnapped my son. They tortured him, and they interrogated him, and he told them about the dick-eating goats. And when they got that note back from the crisis, apparently they had a what the fuck moment right as they were getting dragged away and arrested for crimes against humanity. So I'm glad I got to save that for a while and let that sink into that person. But dick-eating goats, watch out.
Wait, so let me get this straight. You were working for the people who took over, or
Yes.
what? Okay.
All of our characters were originally part of the military coup.
Right. And speaking of which, this military coup you were talking about, it is a real thing. Like,
yes,
it did happen.
It actually happened. It just didn't happen the way we did it.
Oh yeah, it was a fucking mess. Perhaps historically it would have been much cooler if there were actually dick-eating goats, but oh well. And yeah, so and there was like a gradual training, right? Like you started off with carrots and other phallic
yes.
foods.
I can explain how that went down. So what I did originally, I started off this committee. I contacted the Bolivian drug trade, and I told them I would give them information on the committee if they gave me a cut of the money, and I had dead drops set up to give me money. So I'm like, well, what am I going to do with this money? So I'm like, okay, Luis, go buy a farm and just tell the family that they can live wherever they want, but you're buying the farm. So now I had a farm to store all my money in. And then I was thinking, like, I'm doing all this nice stuff for the people. I'm building hydroelectric dams. I'm building, roads and highways and all this other nice stuff. I'm like, I'm being too nice. I need to do something sneaky. So I told Luis to go buy me some goats, and he did. I got around 20 goats, and I hired a farmer to take care of them, and things were good. So I started feeding them carrots, sausages, and any other long, thin shaped objects. And that was
Wink.
the first. That was the first goat note. The first dick-eating note about the dick-eating goats. So then the next note, trying to remember the order. Oh yes, all right. The next note, I started starving them, and then feeding them, and then starving them again, and I would only feed them sausages. That's all I would feed them. I would starve them until they were crazy and ravenous, and then I would start feeding them sausages until that was all they would eat. And then the last part of the note was I had Luis go and find some mannequins. So then, on the last note, I had them starve, feed the goats again, and then start breeding the goats together, and then starving and feeding them sausages. And then I started only putting the sausages on the groin areas of mannequins. And when my crisis people found out what I was doing, they sent me a note back saying that this is inappropriate. Seriously, bruh. And I had to respond to them, like send it back saying, like pretty much begging and sucking their dick, because Crisis likes it when you are nice to them and stroke their egos. So I was stroking their ego and being like, I'm just gonna do this crazy thing for the last day, so they let me do it. But I never got around to doing it because they ended the committee a day early. But I had dick eating goats, and they would have gone crazy at some point and started eating the dicks of everyone in Chile.
So they never actually got to see action.
Nope, I was literally writing the note as the committee was ending. I didn't know it was going to end early, so I was writing a note saying that basically what happened was in 1985, I think, was the year that it ended. We started in 1973 and we went all the way to 1985, and we were holding an election among the people, basically a referendum asking them if they wanted 10 more years of Pinochet or if they wanted to move to a democratically elected system. So the whole last hour of committee was us trying to basically rig the elections so that we would have 7 more years of Pinochet. But between all the infighting and all the military police people getting arrested and all the human rights violations, I mean, we got condemned by the UN. It really wasn't going well. Oh, we got condemned by the Pope too. So, but between that, I never got around to finishing my dick eating notes. Because I did actually have a plan to turn off all the power in Chile and then release the goats.
Sounds like you were the one who was trying to take over.
Some people just want to see the world burn, and that was me.
Or, just wanted to see the world dickless.
And then on the last day, after everything was over, what most Maluan committees do is they do something called superlatives, where they decide like who had the most whatever. And I got nominated for most dangerous. Me, the Minister of Public Works, got nominated for most dangerous next to the head of the military police and the head of the Navy.
Huh.
So, all because of my dick eating goats that never got to see action. People were just so terrified of that idea. And then I actually did get voted for most likely to commit crimes against goats. So.
Damn, dude. I will say, though, you could try selling this idea to the real military. Like, send a letter to the US Army and be like, hey, I got an idea for an army of goats. Then they will hire you and you will get like a billionaire contract.
Or I'll get condemned by the UN. Well, then again, that's not a crime. That's not a crime against humanity. They cannot condemn me for that.
I mean, you gotta take chances.
Yep. So, just if there's any of you out there who are in high school or planning to go to college or in college, you should definitely consider going to checking out to see if your school has like a Model UN group or anything, because sometimes it can be boring. Like, you got to do a lot of procedure and you got to know a lot of stuff, but other times it can just be batshit insane. So, that's the most I've ever spoken in a period of time on this podcast ever. I think I'm gonna go die now.
Wait, you've been talking for a while, so now you get to eat, drink, and you do get a blanket at night.
Yep.
According to the contract.
Yep, the contract, it's like a tiered system. The more I talk, the more I get.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they don't even let me out of the box, but I talk this much, I get to sleep in a bed. That's amazing.
No, I say you get a blanket. Don't get your hopes up.
Hey, I've got an army of dick-eating goats that says I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Speaking of dick-eating goats, I've been playing Dead Space. No, there are no dick-eating goats.
That segue, though.
Yeah, that'll make it even more terrifying. But yeah, I finally saw what the buzz is about with that game. It's weird because it's a sort of thing of game that has like the levels are pretty, but it's like the whole composition is pretty. Cause if you look at it, there's blood and guts every fucking where. So it's not pretty as in pleasant to the eyes, but it's well made. I'm not sure how to describe that.
So you've never played Dead Space before this?
Nope.
Wow. Is that the first Dead Space you've ever played?
Yep.
Wait, which game was it?
What do you mean?
Like the first? Like, there are three. Was it the first one or the second one?
Playing the first one
Oh,
because they're giving it quote unquote for free in Games with Gold.
okay. Wait, it was a game with gold?
It is.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's it got recently like updated to the backwards compatibility thing, and they're giving it away until the 15th, I guess, for Games with Gold.
Okay, I might have to. I might download it.
Yeah, I'll go with the Wolf Among Us. You never played Dead Space before?
No, I've played Dead Space. It's just. Well, actually, I don't need to download. I own a copy of it. It's just. I honestly have never beaten that game. I've never even come close because I don't like playing horror games. I love horror movies, but I don't like playing horror games.
You know, I feel
At least by
kind of the
myself.
opposite. Like I don't enjoy horror movies that much, but horror games, I can stand them. You know, I can play them. Although I do bitch out a lot, like the original Slender. You know, the 8 pages, the indie game. Man, I have some good memories of playing that with my friends. Like we would gather at night and then turn all the lights off, plug the laptop onto the big screen TV, and play that. And dude, we would yell like crazy. It
Yeah,
was
I mean,
fun.
I'll play horror games with friends because I enjoy that experience, and I I won't watch horror movies by myself most of the time because it's boring. But I'll watch them with friends because I don't know. I don't look for like personal value in horror stuff. I only look for like group value. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, try to explain it because I'm not sure if I got that.
Like I mean, I won't do anything horror by myself. I can take it. Like I'm not afraid of it. It's just I prefer to do it with friends. And although video games, I prefer not to do those by myself because it's one thing to watch. It's one thing to watch horror on a screen and see it happening to some other jackass. But when you're in a video game, it's like holy shit. Like I get very into it and embody myself onto that person. So watching Isaac get his freaking head chopped off or some crap, it's like ridiculous. I cannot.
Yeah, the game is pretty brutal. With some of these things. Like I remember, I just finished a part where I turned on this huge centrifuge, and I thought I'd be okay, but then one of the thingies of the centrifuge hit me, and it blew his body into a bunch of pieces, like out of
Oh, you got
nowhere.
gibbed.
Yeah, that was bad. I mean, YOLO, right?
How about
Oh,
that Star Wars The Force Awakens just came out.
you mean Rogue One or the DVD?
Oh yeah, we can talk about Rogue One trailer as well. Make Vic jealous that he
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
here to geek all over it.
man, I'm so excited for Rogue One, especially since the character, I'm not sure what her name is. Like, I know she introduces herself, and I thought it was Jen Ors from Jedi Knight and Dark Forces, but I did see some people writing like Jen Erso or something. So I have no fucking clue. Like, maybe I misheard it during the trailer, but like when she introduces herself, they show this dude for like a collective of 4 seconds during the trailer, and it's one of the people that they show the most. Apart from the main character. I got a feeling that maybe we'll get a nod to the Jedi Knight series or Dark Forces. I would be so happy if they found a way to include Kyle Katarn and Jen
Yeah,
on these movies.
it would be great if the writers were, big Star Wars fans and actually went into the expanded universe. Like that would be something that would be nice if the writers who had control over these movies were like, okay, Disney, you fucked with the kid, and now we're going to write it back in. Gave them a giant middle finger. At least acknowledge it. That's all a lot of fans are asking for, because we all know that there's a lot of canon stuff that's up in the air right now, meaning anything not on screen, which is ridiculous. But anyway, you can stop me anytime.
Nah, go on.
That was my thought.
I found it funny that Mark Hamill tweeted that he probably doesn't have any lines in that one either.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
You know what's even funnier? Mark Hamill was there for the entire table read of The Force Awakens.
Yeah, like, man, either maybe he was like, it was the first time he's seen the whole script or whatever. But dude, I wonder how that felt for him. Like, just killing time.
I hope that wasn't the first time he saw it. Like, I hope he went there, like, and as part of the joke. I feel like it would have been more funny if they were doing it for producers or people, looking to invest, and they're just like, "Hey, why is Mark Hamill on his phone? Has he said anything yet?" Oh, I'm sure I'll come about in an hour. And 2 hours later, and he just gets up and leaves.
But before he gets up, goes up to what's the lady who? Oh yeah, Daisy Ridley. He goes up to Daisy Ridley
and just stares
at her
for
for like 5 seconds and then leaves.
he practices that face where he just it's like his brow is furrowed and he just looks so depressed. I don't know, but I don't know. What do you think of the movie now that you've had 3-4 months to have it sink in?
So, I watched the movie only once, although I did watch it again recently, and I still think it's a great movie. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess
I saw it twice when it was out, but I mean, we just bought the movie again. Like, it just came out in DVD and stuff, so I'm gonna watch it soon. But I still think it was a pretty good movie.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, they basically remade A New Hope, herp derp." I don't agree with that. Sure, there are similarities, but it doesn't feel like a remake.
I could disagree with that. Like, it definitely wasn't a straight remake. It was a it was almost like the entire thing was a nod to the original trilogy, and I can see how people would be frustrated by that. You're not getting a completely new story, but on the other hand, it's a good way to get older people who are disappointed at the the prequels back into it, and it's a good way to get new people into it because that's such a classic story and it's such a good story. My only problem with that whole rehashing was the giant Death Star. Like, that is the only thing I think was way too forced. But other than that, the whole movie itself was good.
Yeah, it's starting to get old. Like, oh, a huge space station that can blow up planets, and it's round, and it's big, and it's a No, it's a Starkiller base, but no Starkiller base.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But still, great movie.
Yeah, and I had one friend who reacted to the Rogue One trailer, and he was complaining how it was another Death Star movie.
Well, I mean, but this is the OG Death Star.
It is, but if you think about it, how many movies have revolved around the Death Star now? The first movie...
You could argue that ever since Attack of the Clones, it's been about Death Stars. Because they show like Count Dooku with the schematics for the Death Star, then at the end of Revenge of the Sith, they show the Death Star being built. Episode 4, the Death Star getting blown up. Then Episode 5, I think they mentioned the Death Star 2, but I could be mistaken. Then Episode 6, blow up the Death Star 2. And then Episode 7, Starkiller Base.
You know what? If you think about the whole series like that, that actually ruined it for me. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
I'm sorry, TJ.
My whole childhood has been ruined, even though I didn't have that much. Like, I'm disappointed that I didn't have much of a childhood when it came to, good Star Wars movies coming out. All these new kids, they get freaking episode 7. What do we get? 1, 2, and 3.
You see, I disagree because I like the prequels. Like
Oh,
for me, it
you're
was
walking down a
like
dark road, man.
I know, fuck it. I've said it a bunch of times. I like the prequels, because it's like for me when I watched it, it was like what the kid me and the teen me wanted. There were a bunch of space battles and lightsaber battles and all that shit. So you know, it was good. I still think they're decent movies. They're not a complete waste of time and space. I like the prequels. I do. But I will admit that these new ones, they are being really successful in terms of enticing people to watch them. Like I saw a tweet the other day. I've been using Twitter too much, by the way, I guess. But I saw a tweet the other day. I can't remember who posted it. I think it was one of the Rooster Teeth people. But like people are actually excited for a Star Wars prequel of sorts, which is Rogue One. Like it's not one of the, let's say, main stories, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, for that matter. But it's a prequel,
Yeah,
It's between 3 and 4.
I think it can be good. It. I'm going to stay at the same level I was when waiting for episode 7, cautiously optimistic. You know what I mean? I'm not going to get hyped for it. I'll say it looks like a great movie, but I'm just not going to be there until I see the movie. And that's kind of how I treat everything that I wait for. I'll be cautiously optimistic up till the end. You know?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Like I like the trailer, but it was a teaser trailer.
Yeah,
Let's see what else comes
let's
up.
wait for some of the meat.
The
But
actress, the main actress, whose name now I don't know if it's Jen or not. I hope it's Jen Ors. But anyway, I've seen her before in something, but I can't for the life of me remember where. Like, man, sure I could go to IMDb and take the easy way out of this, but I'm still trying to figure out where I know her from.
the main actress,
Yeah.
well, according to this, is it Felicity Jones? Jonas?
Okay, the name rings a bell.
Yeah, I mean, I thought she looked kind of familiar too, but I have not seen much of it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass.
Speaking of Star Wars, yesterday I went to store and they were doing some Easter sales, in which they try to sell the leftovers from Easter. By the way, I'm gonna tell like two different stores or three only this time. I got to that store and then the clerks were putting the eggs on the stands, of the new price tags and stuff. And then I saw one of them purposefully grab this huge bag of Easter eggs they had and pound it a little bit on the floor, and joke about it with the other clerk, like, ha ha ha. And then they saw that I was entering the store and they were like, oh, yeah, and then they pretended they were busy with something else. But then I went to the book part of it, and I found I'm not sure what the name is in English because I got the Portuguese version. But it's like an imperial manual, which they detail like their operations and the kind of stormtroopers and stuff. It's pretty cool, and it was very cheap too because these books here they reach quite a lot, but then the specific one was pretty cheap. There was also the Jedi Path and the Bounty Hunter book, but those were like 3 times the price I paid. I was like, nope.
Yeah, I've been meaning to try and read some of the new Star Wars lore books, but I haven't gotten around to it, mostly because I don't read that much anyway. But they seem like they would be really interesting reads, especially the novelization of Episode 7, because I heard they added in a lot of stuff that wasn't mentioned in the movie.
So yeah, that's a weird thing. Like I also would love to read some of the novelizations, but first of all, we don't. I haven't seen much of them around here to begin with, and I think a good part of them are like series of books. You know, you don't get the full story if unless you buy all of them. And it's not even much a matter of price, but a matter of finding them. You know, it's tough here.
Well, are you talking about like the Legends books or the current canon books?
The current canon,
Oh,
also the
okay.
legends, they're all really tough to find here.
Well, I mean,
But
I would love to get more into the Legends, but now that they aren't even canon anymore, like I feel like trying to go back and get into all of that would be kind of pointless because it could get rewritten at any moment.
yeah, I feel like that too. I mean, the book I just got, the Imperial Manual, it's legends, you know. So that's a bit of a bummer, but it's still interesting to see what they were coming up with. But anyway, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, novelizations of the movies. I always find it weird because in my head it's like if a movie is based off a book, then I consider the book to be the most canon of sources. Like the book is the real deal. It's the most complete version of it. That's it. And something weird happens with the has been happening with the Star Wars movies, which is they release a movie which you would expect to be the most canon version of it. You know, because it's like the original, the source material. Star Wars is a movie franchise, although now it's expanded to other things, but it's still like it's sprouted from movies, you know. But then the novelizations are like, oh, they give more details about the story and they tell more stuff and all that. So you're saying that the novelization has more canon stuff than the movie. You know, for me that doesn't make sense. That's weird, you know. Not that I'm mad at it or like, oh, this is fucking bullshit, but it's just weird.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Um, I can see that, but in some point, I kind of feel like when you're reading the novelization, you're getting bonus material because it's kind of like I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like a reverse of when a book goes to a movie. Like when a book goes to a movie, they usually cut a lot of stuff out and trim it down, so you feel like you're getting cheated. But when you're going from a movie to a book, as long as they don't do like a word for word script and then, like just add in like really detailed, you know, action scenes, then it's a good book. Like it feels like you're gaining more information that's giving you more background and insight on the universe. A kind of example I can use for that is an example I can use of a kind of bad version of that is the novelization of the first Halo game. It's coming from a story that's told through picture, so they usually don't tell you a lot of what's going on. And in the book, they spent a lot of time um, describing every action. Like he fired 2 shots, and then he reloaded, and then he fired 3 shots. And the author is actually one of my favorite authors for the Halo series, Eric Nyland. He did a good job because he was being very restricted by the developers, but he managed to add in an extra story in there about Grunt and an elite who were trying to hunt down the Master Chief for revenge, and he did a good job of adding that little extra story, so it made the whole novel worth it. But there are examples of novels where they, kind of trivialize it and they kind of just give you a description of the scenes. And I can see how that would be a bad book, but in another sense, it does also give an opportunity to add something that they may not have been able to portray through the screen or through the movie or the game or what have you.
Yeah, the conception I've always had about novelizations like those is exactly what you just said. Like sometimes you just get the cheap way out. Like, oh, so we're just gonna tell what happened uh, in the game, but with words. Wow, you know. So I've always been like really picky with those things. That was with the Assassin's Creed books, and I saw the novelization of the prequels the other day, like a bunch of books, and they had nice covers and all. But I looked at that and I was like, man, this is fucking stupid, you know. But then one day I got like a bunch of the Assassin's Creed books, and I was like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna read those. And it's really interesting because I thought they're gonna be like, oh, let's just tell the story of the game again. It's not. It did expand on a bunch of things that it described like the feelings and thoughts that when you're just button mashing, you don't get those, from the character. So I was like, okay, some novelizations can be good. And then I read some stuff about the Star Wars novelizations, specifically from Episode 3, how they describe the thoughts and emotions and all that. I was like, oh, all right. So maybe it's not as stupid as I thought. So right now I'm at the point that I'd be willing to read one of those, but it's still a weird concept. Even the Assassin's Creed ones that I've read. Some of them just expand, like they tell, let's say, separate stories, and it's becoming more and more of that. It happened with the Altair one. They tell a lot of things that is in no one of the games. Um, Also the shit, what's the name? Assassin's Creed 3, and apparently Unity is like that. I haven't read Unity yet, but yeah, I mean, I guess it's a hit and miss kind of deal.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I agree with you. It is hit and miss. So I feel like it's good to try and do a little bit of research into books before you get them, because chances are there's somebody else out there who has taken the plunge and can tell you if it was good or not. So I don't know. It's hard to explain because I don't technically read very much because I don't get a lot of time to do that. I'll listen to audiobooks when I'm driving to school and stuff like that, but that's about it. So I haven't gotten a chance to do a lot of reading as of late, but I mean I enjoy it. It offers other perspectives that they can't show in movies.
You were mentioning you drive to school. Have you ever been in a drag race?
Drag? I said drive.
Yeah, I know, but have you ever driven illegally, TJ? I'm not a cop. Wink.
No, I've never been in a drag race with my SUV because that wouldn't end very well.
It's alright, TJ. No one's listening to this. Just the rest of the
It's like
internet.
one step away from a mom van. I don't think I'm going to be winning any races in it.
That's how you fool them. So like, oh, that dude has a car that doesn't look like it runs a lot. But then you beat them all, and it's like, bitches, I sipped of this bitch. I didn't want to be repetitive of the word bitch, but anyway.
Bitch.
Bitch.
Bitch, 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 bitch. Hey, Luís, where's my goat army?
They're sleeping. Yeah, that's what's going on.
So,
They are
speaking of
sleeping.
goat armies, what do you think of time travel?
What? That was a very unexpected segue. I think it's a really cool concept. Back when the Prince of Persia games were a thing, I was fucking fascinated by that story, and the whole thing of going back to the past and altering the past and, change the future. But do you really change the future or just create an alternate dimension, all that? I like that kind of stuff. Why do you ask?
Just curious. I've seen a lot of movies and shows lately about time travel, and I don't know. It feels like it's a hard concept to get down and wrap your head around. And when somebody does it well, they really do it well and they nail it. And I was just wondering, where you stood with that. Like have you do you understand some of the basic concepts behind why time travel is fucking weird?
I don't know what to say. Like, maybe I do. I'm not sure.
Like you know what a time travel paradoxes are, like the grandfather paradox?
Like you go back in time with your grandfather or something like that.
Yeah, and then you cease to exist. And that creates paradox because if you go back and kill your grandfather and cease to exist, then who went back to kill your grandfather? And then you
Yeah.
exist, and then you go back and kill your grandfather, and it just creates a loop, and everything's fucked.
Yeah, divide by 0.
Yep. It's about as complicated as dividing by 0. Although, did you know that you can divide infinity by 0? Wait, don't quote me on that. I think I'm just guessing. I remember something about that in my calc class, but it's very loose.
It was just amazing when you said so sure of yourself. Like, did you know you can divide infinity by 0? Wait, don't quote me on that.
Hey, you can do anything you want in the world if you sound confident about it.
I guess you can.
Like, the best way to sneak in someplace is to act like you completely belong there. Just be absolutely positive that you should be there.
Have you ever crashed a party like that? Or a club or whatever?
No. Because I never walk in anywhere like I'm supposed to be there. I'm always like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Stop looking at me. I don't know. I'm weird.
Those are sort of thing that, I don't know, maybe one day I'll have to try, Just see what happens. Oh, and I forgot to bring it up, going back to the novelization topic. I finished reading Club the other day, and it was a good surprise because I first watched the movie, so I'm not going to spoil for people who didn't watch it. I know it's a very old movie and it's a very old story, but, maybe people didn't hear about it yet. I just watched the movie like, I don't know, 4 years ago or something.
Wait, which movie again?
Fight Club.
Oh, okay.
So I read the entire story knowing, like, the ending, or at least the movie ending, and but like the story was really, the movie was really true to the story. I felt like it was really close. I managed to see like, oh, this is different and this is different, but it was really close, and it was a pleasant surprise because the last books I've read that had movies based on them, like it was a fucking tragedy all the time. Like, just the movie had nothing to do with the book. Looking at you, I Am Legend, fucking stupid movie, fantastic book. But
Yeah, I've actually never seen Fight Club.
Oh, you should.
Also, Luís,
Yes.
you forgot the first rule of Fight Club.
Oh shit. So everyone, thank you so much for watching.
We gonna die. Well, I mean, we
Tyler,
could do some questions now.
edit that out, please.
Yeah, we don't want to just bleep it.
Yeah.
Every
don't
time
want
you
to talk
mention
about
it, bleep
that.
it.
Yeah, every time I mention club, you just bleep the words club.
Or just bleep the word.
What if Tyler's surname is actually Durden? I don't think you got the reference, did you? TJ?
Sorry, my brother just ran in here and left the door open, and now my friend is flicking me off repeatedly.
Oh, flick him off back. And send my regards.
I would, but my finger's on the button.
Oh.
The button.
But yeah, alright, we can do some questions. At the same time I'm researching the questions, I am also looking for ways to remove epoxy from my hands.
Well, I suppose one thing I can vamp about while you're doing that is, speaking of Star Wars and Model UN, a group of my friends have started up like an online Star Wars thing. It's kind of Model UN, but it's kind of roleplay. It takes place during the Old Republic era, and basically we're trying to do Crisis stuff, but against the Sith Empire, and it's kind of interesting. I would tell you guys my plans, but there's no telling who's listening.
Dun, dun, dun.
Actually, I could give away one of my plans real quick because I doubt anyone on the anybody on there is ever going to listen to this. I'm basically the head of a CEO. I'm the CEO of a company for shipbuilding, and I'm bugging all of my ships, and I'm installing droids on them with activation codes that will, when I send a signal, activate and start like destroying the ships, like sabotage and all this other stuff. So can you imagine like a Star Destroyer flying in battle, fighting rebels, and then just fucking blows up for no reason?
Man, that would be cool.
That would be hilarious.
All right, so I already did the questions theme.
Oh
If you
yeah.
guys saw it, it was like multi-purpose. It was for TJ, and then it was also an intro. Man, it was
Yep.
fucking amazing.
I was just vamping. Vamp. Vamp.
You're a vamp. Ew. I don't even know what that is supposed to mean. But anyway, this one was sent by Sunny8p. Actually, I think we'll just ask Sunny questions today. I'll let you know if we don't. But anyway, this one was sent by Sunny8p, and he asked, if God had a frequently asked prayers page, what would be on it?
Lotto. It would always be the lotto.
Where did I leave my car keys, maybe? I don't know.
All right. I feel
I'm
like
trying
that
to
question.
think of something else, but yes?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's alright.
I'm literally the worst person to ask. Maybe what happened to JFK? Who killed Richard Nixon?
So, in your prayers, you also ask God what happened to JFK.
Yep. Still waiting for a response.
Oh God. So, the next one, also by Sanity8p, is if all animals could talk with us, would we still eat them? Yes. I guess.
I would. Actually, I think we've done this question before.
Have we?
I think so.
It could be.
But I mean, YOLO. Let's answer it. I would say yes, because the only animals that I would hear talking are my pets, as long as I still buy the cows and stuff from the supermarket. Not the cows, but the beef and stuff.
Yeah, but do you think like people would still work at butcheries, for example? Or like meat plants?
I don't doubt it. Have you seen those places? Nobody can treat animals like that and still not be fucked up in the head. Although I will say one thing. If animals could talk, I don't know if they would have the most interesting stuff to say, because they do have fairly small brains.
Moo moo, bitch.
Yes. Maybe like all animals would kind of be like parrots. You know, they could mimic what humans say, but they wouldn't like have any like rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah, that is an interesting question.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Next one? Man, we're going through these questions fast.
Yep.
Alright, so the next one is also by Sanity8p, and he asked, if you could see all the statistics of your life, for example, hours slept, times look at boobs, which one would you want to see first?
Oh, okay.
I would say times I got close to dying.
Oh, I've got one. One time, my family is driving across Alligator Alley, which is this road that goes through the middle of Florida, like horizontally. Or is it No, horizontally, yeah. And I had to poop. But Alligator Alley is this, like, deserted road that goes on for about 30, 40 miles. Nobody's built anything along there except for, like, one gas station. So we pulled over, and I was going to poop. And I was really young at the time. I didn't know this. But apparently, my dad spotted a rattlesnake, like, 10 feet away from where I was trying to poop. So, pretty sure I almost died there.
Okay, but I meant like that would be the statistic I would prefer to look at first.
I may not have paid attention to what question you asked.
God damn it, TJ. Do you want me to read the question again?
Can we edit can we edit the question to say that?
No, we can't.
I got the tiniest bit distracted.
Sure you did, buddy.
God damn.
All right.
It. What was the question?
All right. If you could see all these statistics of your life, for example, hours slept, times looked at boobs, which one would you want to see first?
All right. Times almost bitten by a rattlesnake while pooping.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a big number for you. Yeah, I'll probably go with that. I don't know why. There are some
You would go with the times you were almost bitten by rattlesnakes?
No. The times I got close to dying, because I get the feeling I could count on my hand, or just one hand, the times I actually know I nearly died. But maybe there's some other times I had no idea.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I was in the bathroom that day. I didn't know that there was a random freak meteor that hit the building or something. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure if a fucking meteor hit your building, people would die. It would be a big deal.
I've never gotten to talk this long. I'm out of thoughts.
I've never been hit by a meteor. I don't know what I'm talking about. Alright then. I guess that's it. TJ, you wanna ask the audience a question?
Oh, am I considered the guest this week?
No,
I guess if you're the host.
Yeah, if you have any ideas, otherwise you can come up with something, I guess.
If you could travel back in time, what would you do, and why would it be stopping the guy from assassinating JFK?
Well, if you want to go there. Okay, so everyone, thank you so much for listening. DJ, guess, whatever.
Yep.
Don't forget to listen to the outro to find out how to interact with us. And until next week, save JFK, I guess. Bye.
Don't forget to dick your eating goats. Wait.
To dick your eating goats.
Goat. Wait.
Thanks for listening to the Shifty Key podcast. The intro and outro music is provided to us by our editor, TDBTyler. To get more involved with the Shifty Key podcast, you can answer the questions for the audience asked by our guests, or even ask the cast a question of your very own, either here in the YouTube comments or in our Rooster Teeth group. To keep updated with this channel's shenanigans, you can follow us on Twitter, join and watch our group on Rooster Teeth, or simply subscribe. All links will be in the description. Until next week, goodbye.
Don't just have a good one.
No, that's fine.
No, Iiiiit.
Don't forget your eating. Fucking hell, TJ. That was funny.
Dude, I am seriously... I don't even know anymore. Yeah, I don't. I thoughts not work, brain properly. Me am eyeballs blue.
I'm just afraid this is going to be contagious, so I guess I should stop recording for the sake of the audience.
I may or may not cause brain damage. My bad.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Tit.
Tit.